Okay, today we're going to be going through my NHL draft bracket and going through what I think is going to be the outcome. And I will be doing a breakdown of each of these rounds and why I think that. But I just want to go through a quick how I come to my choices for the NHL bracket for the 2023 season for the playoffs, which I'm very excited about. So let's just jump right in. We'll jump over to the next screen. And we got these listed right here. So moving forward with these, let's see. I'll move me over a little bit. Okay, boom. There you go. Moved over. Easy peasy. So, anyways, let's start off with what we can see over here. So we got Colorado and Seattle. These are going to be some pretty good matchups, which I'm really excited about. With these, whoops, my bad. Jump right here. Okay, here we go. So, great outcome right now. So we're gonna start off with Seattle and Ottawa or Avalanche, and so we have, of course, the Avalanche doing better in points. Now Seattle does put up more goals. We do know that, but they do allow more goals in, and they're having and Martin Jones, who's their goalie, is out currently. So, and he has a winning record, but he is not the best goalie. He's I think pretty sure he's a sub 900 at this point. But you know, if the power play is any indication, Colorado's going to kill it there, and they do a better penalty kill. And they have Mika Rantanen, who is a 100 point scorer, while the Seattle Kraken have 0 point per games players. So just to give you an indication of what that looks like, and the reason I'm picking that, you can see also. Last thing as well. The Colorado Avalanche were the first in their Central Division, and the wild card team was the Seattle Kraken, which means that they barely made it in. So in this case, I am going to take Colorado, and they are the Stanley Cup champions. So I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Going with the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild is is third in the Central. Oh, but they have more points, which is interesting. I'm a little biased in this. I am a Dallas fan, so but I just to give you a preface there. But let's go through the stats real quick. So we have the 30.4 goals per game. That is more than the Minnesota Wild, of course. Then you have I bet you the Dallas Stars have more wins. Even though they have more points, I'm pretty sure they have more wins. That's why they're ahead. Goals against, they do let in slightly more goals than the Minnesota Wild, which is surprising. But mind you, when you're in there, Dallas runs usually one goalie. They have Ottinger, I think he did like 62 games this year. So Wedgewood's not getting a ton of games in comparison to the Minnesota Wild, who have Fleury and they have Gustafsson. So you got to consider that the Minnesota Wild are only going to be running one of those goalies. So he has to stand on his head. You can't rely on the other goalie. So now Gustafsson has played really well. I would actually suggest them playing him in the playoffs. But my guess is because they're almost a whole half a goal per game, and their power play is better, and their penalty kill is better, and Jason Robertson is on a heater. He's over 100 point per 100 point player. So I just think that's, for me, I'm a little biased, but I am going to go Dallas in this one. I just think that's gonna be a great matchup. By the way, some people say it's gonna be really boring though, because they say Minnesota Wild play boring hockey, and so does Dallas. But I think it's gonna be electric on the Dallas side, because they're going to shut them down. So Vegas Golden Knights clearly beating out the wild card team with the Winnipeg Jets quite easily, in points, 99 to 85. The Knights are better goal scorers. They are pretty similar in goals against, which is surprising. But when you look at how hot Logan Thompson has been this year for the Golden Knights, it's actually not as surprising you would think. But Hellebuck is an all-star in this case. That's going to be that's really the reason that they got into the playoffs in general. So you can see, and this is actually why their penalty kills is higher than the Vegas Golden Knights, but the power play is better for the Vegas Golden Knights in this case. You have Mark Scheifele, who has scored 40 goals this season, and Jack Eichel, who is a point per game player, or I think he was almost a point per game player. For me, I don't trust. To me, the Winnipeg Jets to me are spare parts. If you shut down their couple of guys, if you can shut down Morrissey, you can shut down Scheifele and Pierre-Luc Dubois. All they really have to stand on is Hellebuck. So to me, I think the Vegas has more pieces that are better. I know it's kind of boring to pick the top of the bracket, but I do believe the Vegas Golden Knights are going to take that one. Now, move on to the next series of the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. I'm very excited about this one because this is going to be a dynamic rematch. Of course, you can see Edmonton Oilers are scoring over half a point, half a goal per game, which is crazy. Goals against the Edmonton Oilers is higher, but I want to say that this Stuart Skinner has been on a heater, and I think they relied on Jack Campbell for the majority. Well, they did rely on Jack Campbell for a while, and same with the Los Angeles Kings. They just got a good goaltending, so I think these numbers are a bit skewed. But you can see the power play is, one of the best, is the best in the league. 32%. That's almost a third of the game, of every one in every three power plays. The Oilers are getting a goal, which is crazy. And then their penalty kills are similar. Mind you, the issue here is you're seeing leading scorers. Connor McDavid does have over 150 points. Adrian Kempe has around 75. It's Anze Kopitar has like 75, I believe, which is half of what Connor McDavid is. You can't not bet on the Oilers. I'm going Oilers in this one, but I do think the Oilers is going to go to 7. I'm going with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. I think Connor Hellebuyck will keep them in this, so I think it will. I'm going to go 6. I think 6 is the right move there. Dallas, again, a more boring game, but I think the goalie is going to play very well. And really, if you can shut down Jason Robertson, maybe. I'm going to go 7 in this one. I think 7's the right move. As well as Colorado Avalanche. I think Seattle can squeak out 1, so I'm going to say 5 for this one. So I think that's the right move. So let's move on to the Eastern Conference first round. So I'm not going to go over I'll go over the stats real quick, but you can see, you take 50% of these points and add it to Boston. That's how many points they got. It's crazy how many points they have. Their goals per game is very good. It is a little better than Florida. Florida's letting in so many goals. Like, they're letting in almost just as many as they're scoring, which is crazy. And the goaltending of Allmark is phenomenal this year, only letting a little over 2 goals per game. So, you got to go with Boston in this. You just can't. Boston not being a 100-goal scorer. Carter Verhaeghe, good for him. But you're going Boston in this one. That's an easy pick. A less easy pick, but for me, I'm pretty confident in this pick, and I'm really excited for this part of the video. Oops, I guess we got one more second. Sorry about that. So the Toronto Maple Leafs going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pretty close in points, I would say. You have pretty close in goals. A little bit better, surprisingly, on the Toronto Maple Leafs having less goals against. That's actually surprising, especially because you have Andrei Vasilevsky here. Similar in power play and similar in penalty kill. However, Nylander is, I think he's around 40 goal scorer, and Braden Point is over 100 point scorer. This is a tale of this is just a feeling, because Tampa Bay has had such a terrible, I think since February 1st of this year, they have been under 500. Or right around there, and they've been one of the worst teams since the trade deadline. And they made the acquisition for Tanner Jeannot for a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick, and they haven't, and he's out right now. So their only acquisition really that they had, besides Michael and Anisimov, is is not much. And I think Toronto's just deeper. They went all in. They got Riley. They got Lafferty, they got McCabe. For me, I'm going Toronto in this one. Call me crazy. I think they're going to break the curse. I think they're going to get out of round 2. That's just me. I'm very confident in it. So, speaking of, when we were talking about team that kind of squeaked in on their goalie, you have the Islanders kind of squeaked in on their goalie because they rode the tailwinds of Sorokin. And you can see that. Look at this point difference right here. You're looking at 16-point difference, so it's pretty significant. So more goals for the Carolina Hurricanes, and mind you, they're first in the Metro. So less goals in for the Carolina Hurricanes, a better power play, a better penalty kill. To me, I think that the Islanders, I don't think Carolina's happy about having to verse them, because they're such a defensively minded team, and they're going to play really tough and really wear you down. But I'm going to go Carolina in this one. I think that's going to be a great matchup, so I'm really excited about that. Now you got the Devils versus the New Jersey Rangers. This, to me, is going to be my first, I would say, upset, yeah, the one that I'm not picking the favorite. I'm not trying to be boring, I swear. It's just more of a feeling. But I do feel that the New Jersey Devils, who didn't do much at the deadline, but besides the Rangers pick up Kane, they pick up Tarasenko. They really did some big moves. Nikola, but he's more of a depth guy. They picked up Tyler Mott. To me and Jack Hughes, I'm big fan of Jack Hughes. Big fan of Mika Zibanejad, but more of a fan of Jack Hughes. I think New Jersey Devils are going to be good for the next 5 to 10 years. I think they're young. I think they're playing with house money. I'm very excited for them. To me, I'm taking this one of the Rangers. For me, it's the Rangers. So going with the Rangers versus New Jersey Devils. To me, this is going to be. I think, for me, I got the Rangers doing it in 6. I think the New Jersey Devils goaltending is good. I think their defense is okay, but their depth on forward is not good enough. So I think they will get it in 6. They'll play the heart out. Toronto and Tampa, that's going to 7 for sure. No, 6. And actually, I'm changing that to 6 because to me, I think that if it goes to Game 6, I think it's going to be Toronto's going to win 2 in Toronto. They're going to lose 1 in Tampa, win 1 in Tampa. They're going to win 2 in Toronto because they have home advantage. Win 2 in Toronto, lose 2 in Tampa, 1 back in Toronto, and then one in Tampa. So they're going to go 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins. I think if it goes to the 7th game, I have a lot of confidence. I still think Toronto can do it, but I think that they're more likely to choke into Game 7. So I'm going to say wins in Game 6 because I just don't think that Toronto can make it to Game 7. I think they get too nervous, especially in their home crowd. So similar to what happened last year. So Carolina versus the Islanders. I think it's gonna go 7 because Islanders are gonna keep the goal scoring low, and they're great goalie. To me, this is my first sweep. I don't trust Alex Lyon or Bobrovsky. I think you just can't bet against the way Boston's playing right now. They're just playing way too well. So moving on, let's go back to the Western Conference. Colorado versus Dallas. Again, you had the perennial Stanley Cup champions. I think the former Stanley Cup champions. You can see actually Dallas is better in goals. They're exactly the same in goals against per game. Slightly better power play, but they're better on penalty kill. For me, I think I did a bracket earlier, and to me, I had Colorado going in, but I drove to the store, and my gut feeling says it's going to be Dallas. I think it's going to be Dallas. I'm so nervous about it. To me, I'm so nervous. My gut feeling went back to Dallas, and I have to go with my gut feeling. So I gotta move on. I can't explain it. It's a gut feeling. You just look at Jason Robertson, and I think this team's on a high. I mean, they're just playing phenomenally well. You have Jake Ottinger. I just think he's out of his mind. You saw what he did last year against Calgary. I mean, Calgary barely slipped out of that, and I just think that Dallas has more to prove. I think they're playing even hotter this year. So that's just me. So Vegas and Edmonton. I mean, to me, I think when you're looking at them back and forth, I mean, you can see the goals against is worse for Oilers. But the offense is crazy for McDavid and Draisaitl and all them and Nugent Hopkins. I do think Edmonton, in this case, will outscore their problems because Logan Thompson is not the Vegas Knights goalie in this case. They're going to use Laurent Brossoit, who has had a great couple of games. I think he only played 10 games. He's had 7 wins, 0 losses, and then 3 ties. So he has not lost in regulation this year, which is great, but he's only played 10 games. So for me, I think I'm going to go Edmonton on this one. I still think that they're going to just kill it. I think you can't bet against McDavid in this case. So Boston versus Toronto. I think Toronto is going to make it to the second round. I don't think you can get past Boston. I think the Demons are too big. I also think that Boston is too good right now. And I just think it's going to be Boston. It's going to be, unfortunately. So Carolina versus New York Rangers. For me, I do see this going to the New York Rangers. I think New York Rangers are just better all along throughout their whole lineup. I think they're deeper on forward. I think they're deeper in defense. You have Adam Fox, Trouba, Keandre Miller, And not to say that they don't have a great Jacob Slavin is not a great defenseman for the Carolina Hurricanes. But I think the makeup factor in this case is going to be the New York Rangers goalie of Shesterkin. I think he's just going to come out hot. I got New York Rangers going in here. So let's look at the Rangers in Boston. So speaking of Shesterkin, Allmark and Shesterkin, two of the top three goalies in the league right now. You can see, I mean, Boston is on a tear, and I just can't see them not beating. I mean, I just can't see it. I just think that Boston is going to take this whole thing. I think they're gonna beat them. I think the Shesterkin is gonna have a hard time with it. I got Boston going. It's just if these are gut feelings. By the way, I mean and I'm also taking some stats into lineup. I'm talking it through, but to me, I just see it as Boston taking it. Dallas and the Edmonton Oilers. Again, I did think Dallas is on a tear, and Ottinger is a huge factor. But I don't think Ottinger would be the only determining factor to shut down the Oilers. I don't know if they can fully. I don't know if you can shut down McDavid fully. So for me, I am going to go Oilers. I think Oilers do go to the conference or the Stanley Cup Finals. And I do think, for me, this is how I thought about it. I think the Oilers they're gonna have to score a ton, right? They're gonna have to because their goaltending might not keep up with Boston's. So to me, they're gonna have to outscore their problems. So I do think it's gonna, if you assume it goes to 7, which I am going to, and you score 6 goals per game, right? 6, right? Because it'll be like a 4-2 game. It'll be like a 3-4 game. It'll be like a 5-3 or 3-2 game. I think you kind of mix it in that. To me, it's going to be 45 goals. So what I did is I said 7 times 6 is around 42. 7 goals or 7 games, 6 goals per game. And then I just kind of threw in a couple extra goals in there. So for me, it's 45. So here we go. I'm submitting it, and I'm saying of these two, comparing the Oilers and the Boston Bruins, I just can't not pick the role that the Boston Bruins are on. I don't want to pick Boston Bruins, but I am. I do think it's Boston Bruins taking it. I think it's them. I think it's great. I'm super excited for them, and I'm excited to see how it goes. So to me, the Bruins are the Stanley Cup champion this year. So excited to see them, and let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate your input and everything, and talk to you soon. Love you.